Good morning, Tuesday morning, heading to Herzliya to Proov HQ today and meeting an investor for lunch. This morning, Noam, my trainer, who started personally training me to get into shape, killed me. I think I'm gonna get that on camera once we change the clocks and it's not so dark in the morning. For now, it's basically pitch black because we work out at 5 a.m. But my body aches in places I did not even know existed. Hopefully, I'll get over that Charlie horse soon. Now off to Proov and some back-to-back meetings in Herzliya. Not bringing my drone today, just because I'm lazy. All in all, it's a pretty great day and super excited that we're caught up on the vlog. I think 4 more episodes, we're at episode 100. Definitely need your feedback for ideas of what I should do in episode 100. Give me some ideas. Let's do this. Heading to Bistro 56 now, one of my favorite restaurants here in Herzliya. Meeting a guy named Norman Chait, who reached out on LinkedIn. He's an investor who actually invested in Proov. And we're meeting for lunch. So, how was that lunch?
Good.
Is it just good? How was your
good.
fish? I'm not a fish guy, but steak was incredible. We just ate at Bistro 56.
Fish was good.
We connected, I feel like, a couple of months ago now, right?
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, and this guy was one of the first investors in Proov, where I'm sitting. And he's seeing the new offices for the first time and the amazing view. Tell me about yourself. Who are you?
My name's Norman Chait. I'm originally from South Africa, moved to Israel.
It's pronounced Chait?
Chait, Chayat, Americans say Chait, whatever.
Yeah, that's right, because I know there's a big American family called Chait. I thought you were... Okay.
Over there it's Chait. It changes, well, it depends on the country.
All right.
Made Aliyah in 84, went to the States in 93, came back here after working on Wall Street in January. I'm a financial advisor, registered both in the States and over here, and I like to help people solve the problems they don't want to deal with day to day.
You'd like to help people. Sounds familiar to me.
Everybody wants to help.
Like not everybody likes it. The world would be a better place if that was true, what you just said.
But people...
Good people like to help.
And I've always been just impressed with the sheer intelligence and creativity and ingenuity of the people over here in high tech, in other spheres. I studied law here. Originally, the people were just off the charts. I'm just glad that people like Hillel and others are helping to connect us to the rest of the world.
And I love that you watched the vlog, by the way.
I watched the vlog. No, I met you. I saw you present once.
Oh, really?
At the Toot conference. I forget what it was called.
Not the
Equity X. Equity X. And I went just to see what it was about. And I was just, you got a lot of good insights. I'm not trying to...
It's okay.
I'm not trying to flatter you, but it's true. It's a lot of insights.
My mom's watching. You can flatter me.
I know. Yeah, he's a nice boy. Yeah. No, but...
sounded like Borat just now. He's a nice boy.
I used to do, when I worked at Merrill Lynch, we used to just to keep him, Borat. He's not so nice. He's very nice.
So impressive.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So what do you do? Dumb this down for me. Like, you're talking to your grandmother. What do you do?
What I do? Look, a lot of people live complex lives, and there's money. There's money involved, and people make money. People spend money. People move from the States to Israel. There are 2 taxation systems.
Right.
Somebody has an exit.
Okay.
They want their liquidity managed. At the end of the day, I try to help people reach their financial goals. Not everybody wants to be billionaires, but they certainly want to be comfortable.
Right.
And a lot of people just don't have the time, especially in this business, just focus so much on the dream, on the business, what have you.
Right.
That don't really have time to deal with the day-to-day. So this is what I try to do. I try to diagnose what people have, where they want to be, and I try to help where I can.
So you manage people's money, though?
We manage people's money, but it's a lot more than that. It's really about understanding who they are. The more I've got into it, it's more about the psychology. What makes people tick, what's important to them. At the end of the day, we want to be happy. And
I like it. And on the side, for fun, you do a little tech investing?
I do a little bit of tech investing. I met some people over here who were just blown away with them and put small amounts in. I'm learning the area. I think it's important to know what makes people tick. And actually, I met the guys at Proov. I was very, very impressed with them. I actually had to...
So was I.
Well, there you are. So, great minds and lesser minds think alike.
Okay.
So there you are. But look, I've been back here for 6 months. It's just been an absolute absolutely great, although there's just so much ingenuity here and what have you. And
You also live in one of the most beautiful places in Israel.
we live in Zichron. That you should come up. You can drone. I mean, you got these people with these parachutes that they're jumping off the cliff.
I love Zichron. Literally one of my favorite places. You know, a friend of mine. I don't know if you know Tamir Goodman. He was called Jewish Jordan. He was one of. He was like.
Yes.
Yeah, so he lived in Zichron. We used to hang out there a lot. He's an amazing guy. He was just actually, I saw him the other night at my kid's bar mitzvah. But so he had a place in Zichron. We went there for the weekend. I love that. It's one of my favorite places.
I grew up in Cape Town by the sea, and we finally found a house with a view of the sea. Then there was a fire.
And you invested in a company right by the sea. Look at that. Look at that view. My goodness.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Unbelievable. All right, so you're back in Israel now. You're here full time. No traveling, or are you still traveling?
No, I still have business in the States. I go back. We have clients there. I deal with people in Europe.
Where's your office?
In New York.
In Manhattan?
Just outside Manhattan. I have somebody over there.
Cool.
So we deal with people that come here. They've got a lot of investments in business. They leave over. They don't take care of it.
And you have a place in New York also?
Yeah, I rent an apartment. We sold our house there. We bought a place in Zichron, but
awesome.
I rent an apartment in Larchmont, which is also near the sea. And I go there 2 or 3 weeks every 6 or 7 weeks.
Living the life.
Trying to, yeah.
Love it. Fantastic to catch up. Fantastic to connect. I'm glad you reached out on LinkedIn, and I'm sure we'll work together for a very long time. We have to figure out exactly how and what we're going to do together, but we'll work together for sure.
Look, you never know. Things happen. You work with good people, things happen.
Completely agree with that. So it was fantastic to connect. Thank you for lunch. That was really nice.
Pleasure.
And let's book our next meeting, in a while.
Looking forward.
All right, man. Thanks. I just got back from Proov. I had some great meetings today that I could not record, but I did want to talk about a very, very painful topic, and I am actually not being sarcastic. I'm being dead serious. I wrote about this yesterday on Facebook, and it, I would say, brought on a whole lot of debate, but it wasn't debate. Everybody agreed that it was a painful topic. But this has happened to me now several times, at least 3 times, so it's something that needs to be addressed. And I think I've spoken about it before, but I want to talk a little bit about finder's fees, aka somebody who connects startups to investors and takes a 5% cut or a different percentage, but takes a cut. Before I talk about what happened, I just want to talk about the topic in general. You want to do that? Okay. Why I don't do it? Every investor that I send a startup to knows that the reason I'm sending them that startup is because it's relevant to them and because I've filtered out the less good startups or the startups that are less relevant. And when I send a startup to an investor, they know that I have no skin in the game and they know to take it very seriously. I literally have an email from Mark Andreessen, from Andreessen Horowitz, saying to me, we take anybody you send to us very seriously. The reason he takes what I send to him very seriously is because I have no skin in the game. Once you start taking finder's fees from startups, and again, I'm not judging anyone, but once you start doing that, when you make an introduction, neither side can measure or can determine whether you're making that intro because you genuinely think it's a relevant intro and you genuinely like that investor and like that startup and you think that it's a good match, or because someone's paying you. So that's why I don't do it. That's why I'm not a fan. But again, you want to do it, your prerogative. What is not your prerogative, though, and again, this is what happened to me, and this is something that I can't wrap my head around why anyone would think this is justifiable behavior. If you're going to take a finder's fee from a startup, disclose it, like right away. If you send someone an email asking them to connect you with a startup, or if you're speaking to an investor or whatever, it doesn't even matter. Both sides need to know up front that you're taking a finder's fee. What happened yesterday, for the 3rd time, by the way, is someone reached out to me. And by the way, someone that I respect and someone that's a good guy, genuinely a good guy. And I don't think he meant, bad. He sends me an email saying, I have access to some investors who are looking to invest in Israel. Please introduce me to some relevant startups. And so I reached out to some relevant startups and asked the CEO, would you like an introduction? The CEO then asks me some questions. What are they looking to invest in? How big are the checks that they're looking to write? And I answered those questions. Ultimately, the CEOs of these companies agreed to this intro because they trust me. Meaning, I leveraged my relationships, my network, to facilitate this connection. So I made that connection, and then they continued with the discussion and the dialogue. I was not part of that. A week later, I find out that the dude who asked me for the introduction, after, speaking to these startups and asking them many questions, some of them very confidential questions, he then pops a surprise on them and says, by the way, would you agree to a 5% finder's fee? After I made the introduction, which I would not have made had I known there was a finder's fee involved, after he asked them the questions, after they've been conversing back and forth for a week, now he tells them that they have to pay a finder's fee? How is that okay? Spoiler, it's not. And don't do it. And then I reached out to the guy and I'm like, a fee? He goes, yeah, well, what do you mean? I shouldn't get paid for my time? I'm like, you want to get paid for your time? That's fine. You should have told me from the get-go that this is a finder's fee situation, and I would have either made that intro or not made that intro. I wouldn't have made the intro, by the way. Irrelevant, though. How could you not disclose to me that you're using my connections, my network, that I'm making for you? These connections, I'm using my network and my friends to connect you with people. and you don't tell me that you're going to take those relationships, you're going to take those people, and you're going to charge them a finder's fee? I'm going to put aside for a second the fact that he didn't offer me a cut of his finder's fee, which, again, I would never take. But how are you making money on my relationships and not telling me about it? It's like, again, this is business ethics 101. And it's a very, I mean, the answer is, it's a perfect classic example of choosing short-term revenue over long-term gain. You are literally damaging your reputation, you are damaging your relationships in order to make a couple of bucks. And that a couple of bucks could be a couple of $1 million, by the way, I don't care. I don't believe in finder's fees, and I've helped tens of startups close financing, and I almost never took a finder's fee. And when I say almost, I mean, there was a very, very extreme example where the founder basically said, you're taking the finder's fee, and that's it. And it was a discussion, but the bottom line is I don't take finder's fees, and I haven't in years, many, many years. And it's because of what I said in the beginning, that my relationships are genuine and they know I have no skin in the game. But if you're going to take a finder's fee, which again, I don't recommend, but if you're going to do it, freaking disclose it. Be transparent about it. You have nothing to be ashamed of, right? Unless you do, in which case don't do it. But if you have nothing to be ashamed of, then tell both sides, I'm going to connect you, the startup, to an investor, you, the investor. Both of you need to know that because of this connection that I'm facilitating, I'm going to take a 5% cut. And if you don't say that from the get-go, none of this is okay. I have calmed down now, but literally last night I was fuming at the situation. I mean, these CEOs, like, they trusted me. Many of them weren't necessarily actively looking to raise money, but when I said these are some investors you should meet, they said, okay, well, we trust you, introduce us. And then they find out later that they're being, I'm not going to say scammed, but basically dragged into paying a finder's fee that they did not even know they were going to be paying. So the bottom line is, it's, again, ethics 101, and just, I feel like the guiding question you should ask yourself is, are you choosing short-term gain over long-term profitability? And that doesn't mean necessarily money, but relationships and everything else that you gain in business. Are you choosing short-term over long-term? And if the answer is yes, then I would say think twice before doing it. But this scenario specifically literally had me fuming last night. And again, I don't think the guy meant bad. I don't think he's a bad person. I just think that this is perhaps something that many people would view as obvious, and to him it just wasn't common sense. And I tried to explain it to him. I don't believe that he got it, but in any case, I just wanted to share that thought with you, that if you're going to do something in business, not only finder's fee, by the way, in general, if you're doing something in business, be transparent. You can never be overly transparent, but to not disclose something up front is something that will, in my opinion, boomerang and blow up in your face down the road. That's just a guiding principle in business, transparency. Thought I should share that with you. I'm gonna call it a day right now. It was a good day at Proov. Tomorrow, I'm heading back to site, spend the day there. I love that company. I'm fortunate enough to be an advisor there. Full disclosure, there you go, transparency, baby. And yeah, it was a good day. See you tomorrow. Peace.